Hello everyone who's watching and welcome to the Perfect Gym demonstration. My name is Colin Whalen and I'm going to be walking you through all of our core modules to demonstrate how Perfect Gym can help you run your business successfully and efficiently. So what we're looking at right now is our client portal. This is branded for the demo, so you can see Perfect Gym logos and what this would look like on a traditional website. So this would be built into your website or configured in such a way so that the mechanics that we're about to show you would be a feature of your existing website. To give you an idea about what I'm talking about so that it's not all just gibberish, let me give you an example of an existing client of ours who uses our client portal. That would be Fitness First in India. So you can see the difference straight away. The design is the same, but where Fitness First has their own branding, their own color scheme, and their own logos, you get the feel of their brand when you come onto their client portal. Now, if I'm on their website and I want to join now, I come to this page. I can join online, select what city I want to train in, select what location within that city, choose my membership type, add a discount code if I have one, select the day I want to train. Say I want to train next month. Fill in my personal information. It's first name, last name, date of birth, email, phone number, all important data capture for either your members or prospects when you're looking at a CRM system. And if I were to fill this information in, agree to the terms and condition, the next page I would go to would be a summary of what I'm purchasing, and then a payment page where I give my payment information and then away I go, I am a member. Now, this can be included in a variety of different ways. If you don't want to have online joining, online signups, you can have an inquiry form or any sort of data capture, which will be synchronized with the CRM, which I'll get to in a couple of moments. But this is what that member journey looks like from the member-facing side. If I'm a prospect coming to the website to fill in my information to become a new member, it's quick, it's easy, but let's take a look at what the options are if I'm already a member. So I've already joined, I've come into the gym and I've signed up for a membership, and now I want to log in to book a class. So I'll give my login information here. And straight away, I'm brought to the class timetable for the gym. Now, we have to use our imagination here a little bit because for this demo site, we're looking at a white on gray background. It's not the most visually exciting thing to be looking at, but if we use our imagination and picture this as branded for the business, we can then start to see that we can configure this any way that we want. But if I want to book into a yoga class, I can select the class. I can have a breakdown of the trainer with a trainer bio. I could have information about the class. I can see everything that I need to see, and if my membership allows it, I can book into that class. Now, beyond booking for classes, I can also book a personal training slot. If you want to have your personal trainer's calendars available online, some people do, some people don't. It's entirely up to you whether you want this feature on. But again, you can select personal trainer based on ones that you know. You can even filter based on category. So you can set your personal trainers up in the software with their specializations, which as a member I can see when I come online. So I might be looking for somebody who's got a certain dietary background. Maybe they're a dietitian, or I want somebody who's an Olympic strength and conditioning coach. I can select that and I can get specific personal trainer for my goals. I can also view any of the classes that I have on my calendar. So I don't have any classes booked right now, but if I did, I'd be able to see them here. I could cancel those classes if I need to. I can see a history of classes. I can also purchase PT products. So from here, any products which you're selling, whether that's personal training packages, boot camp courses, merchandise, if you want to sell it online, You put it into the inventory and you put it on the website and it will show up right here. I can also view my profile. So edit details to my profile, whether I want to change my password, I can view my contract details, update my payment information if I've got an expired credit or debit card, and I can also even top up a prepaid account. So a lot of businesses are going cashless right now. If I come to the gym and I want to buy a smoothie or a protein shake from the receptionist on my way out, but I don't have my wallet on me, I can simply have my account debited. So I can top that up here, any variety of options, and move through that. So a lot of different variety that we can take advantage of with the client portal. Now, moving away from the client portal, let's look at the point of sale side. So if I'm a receptionist at the gym, what we've decided to do with our design is to have a point of sale tool that is simple and intuitive to use. Traditionally, if you've got a software system that is quite cumbersome, that can put people off or be difficult to use, then it translates into a bad negative member experience. If you've got a software that's easy to use, then your receptionist can really focus on those one-on-one interactions. So what I mean by that is this right here. This is what your receptionist will be looking at. So let's say I'm Henry and I've walked up to the receptionist and I'd like to book a class that's happening in the next 10 minutes. I'm running late and I just want to know what the availability is. Because Henry has just swiped his card, I can see his information here. On the right, actually, I can get a list of all the current people who are in the gym. So in a real world scenario, you'd have all of the gym members here on the right. So I could easily bring up their profile just by clicking on Show All, or they could swipe their card, variety of options. From here, I can get information on Henry. So his contract is up to date. He's up to date on his payments. If he hadn't been up to date, I would see a big red here, and I can actually take a payment straight from the point of sale. I can get information on his payment history, what he's purchased in the past, any notes on the system. So if Henry has an injury, or let's say he forgot his wallet, you can add that note to the system, and every time Henry comes into the gym, the receptionist will be able to see that. You can even add, just write something there, a blocking note. So you can add a note that would actually prevent him from coming in or flag the receptionist. So a couple of different options there. But we're talking about booking a class. So Henry has come up to me. He's asked me if there's any availability in the class. All I do is come across to the class calendar here. This will bring up the classes that are in front of us for the week. He wants to book into the TRX class. So I go ahead, I sign him up for that single class. Marked him as attended because he's right there in front of me. And away we go. Henry gets back to his workout quickly and smoothly. I've wished him a good day, and away we go. It's that simple. If you wanted to buy a bottle of water, I can come to the point of sale system. I can select beverage, I can select water, and multiple different payment options, all configurable within the software. So we're a very flexible cloud-based solution. We work with payment providers all over the world. We've got a lot of flexibility with how we can manage payments in each territory. This payment goes through. It's tracked on his account, so you can run a report on revenue. You can run a report on inventory. I'll touch on all of that in a moment. But these tabs as well are completely customizable. So the products which you sell, you'll set up in the software, and then they'll show up here. And again, if, say, someone came into the gym with a friend, and that friend wasn't a member, but they wanted to buy a snack or a bottle of water of some kind, you just proceed with that sale as someone who's not a member. So you continue on with the process. Say, sell that person a bottle of orange juice. They're not a member. Sale goes through. Easy as that. So really simple, intuitive tool for your front of house staff. Let's go away from the point of sale and let's look at the real brains of the system, and that's Perfect Gym Manager. So the first thing that we're going to look at here is our dashboard. These right here are a series of widgets that are entirely customizable based on what data you want to track and what permissions you have within the software. So we have 30 widgets in total, and those widgets are broken down into 3 different categories. You have employee widgets, you have revenue widgets, and you have member widgets. So a member widget might be Perfect Member. This will give you a breakdown of all the members in your clubs. You can also filter based on individual clubs. So if I want to see Perfect Gym Club 3 versus Perfect Gym Club 2, I can get a lay of the land of what my membership bases are doing from one gym to the next. If we're looking at all clubs, what this widget actually does is tell us how many members are going to the gym between 1, 2, 3, or 4 times a week. So I can look at this widget right here and I can say, wow, I'm really impressed with 53% of my membership base. They're going to the gym 4 days a week. You know, they're really on it. They're really focused on their fitness. However, 10% here, they're only going once a week. And I want to reach out to these people. I want to target them. So we can actually run a report on all of these widgets. If I click on this tab right here, that will take me to the reporting page where I can actually download an Excel spreadsheet of that report. It will give me the names of those members, all of those 1-star members, and I can put them on a marketing campaign and I can reach out to them and try and get them from a once a week member to a 2, 3, or 4, or even 5 times a week member. So lots of ways that we can utilize these widgets. We've got personal training widgets, so we know of all of our clubs which PTs are really successful and really high performing, and you know which PTs we maybe need to spend some additional time with, some additional training. Now a quick note as well that's worth mentioning is we can actually set up commissions in the software. So you can set up commissions for both staff, personal trainers, instructors, you name it, and you can track commission as well. You can run reports on commissions, and you can even subscribe to that report, so it's landing in your inbox every single day. You've got reports or widgets on reception sales, so we can see which receptionists are selling the most. We have reports on total revenue across 3 different categories, so personal training revenue, contracts, and reception sales. Now again, these reports can all be filtered based on either the day or the month and based on location as well. And they're entirely customizable in terms of what data we're looking at. So these 3 are fairly common across the industry: personal training, membership, and reception revenue. However, if there's particular revenue streams that you want to focus on, you tell us what they are, and we'll put them here, and you'll be able to track them. Now, I love these widgets in this dashboard because it's a really quick glance at the most important data. If you're someone who's on the go, you're in transit, or you're working remotely, anywhere you are where you've got a device, laptop, tablet, mobile phone, and you've got access to the internet, you can bring up and log into Perfect Gym, and you can view this data quickly and efficiently. It's visually attractive. It gives you everything that you need to know about your business to be able to make those educated decisions. But it also gives you access to our reports, which we can get really granular with the data. So take future contract endings, for example. This will give you a breakdown of all of your memberships and what month they'll be coming to an end. If I want to get really granular with the data, then I click on this tab. It brings me to the report, and I can get a detailed look at that widget that I was looking at. Now, about our reports, we have 120 in the software. I believe this is a demo site, and it's even more than 120 now. Now, we're not going to look through all of them right now because this would be the most boring demo ever if I did that, but rest assured we have a lot of a lot of reports in the system. And these reports you can run within the software, but you can also, very cool, subscribe to the reports. So, for instance, revenue, daily revenue totals, new membership signups. These are reports that are really important to a club manager or an owner, and the reports that you want to see consistently every week, sometimes every day. So if you subscribe to a certain report, then the software will automatically pull that data and put it into an Excel file and email it to your inbox so that you've got that at a predetermined time whenever you want. So if that was a daily report, if you wanted a daily revenue report, then every single morning when you come into the office or when you open up your laptop, you've got that report there. You can assign which email address you want that report sent to. So if you want club managers to have their sales reports ready for their morning, then you put that email in, and then there's no excuses. The club manager comes in and they say they haven't had time to build the report yet. You don't need time. It's in your inbox. Check your email. It's there. So just a quick, efficient way of being able to run these reports. And another point, while we're looking at the dashboard, is about permissions. So what we're looking at, number one, is entirely customizable. So I've edited this dashboard to show these widgets in this fashion because this is my preference. But if I wanted to, I could add additional widgets or remove certain widgets that I'm not interested in. So let's take, for example, members by status. I want to add that for all the clubs. So I can add this widget into the system. Let's get rid of revenue history, so that will go. And I want to make this widget a little bit bigger. Which is being very fun right now. Oh, excuse me. Aha! That wasn't supposed to happen. There we go. So I can make that larger. That's too large. Let's say I want to get rid of this. You've got a lot of variety and customization with how you can build these widgets. So you can build these widgets out entirely as you like. You can save them so you can have multiple dashboards for multiple members of staff. And importantly, the point I was going to make is that you can compartmentalize or set up rules about who has access to what data. So let's imagine that I am a reception manager for one of your gyms and you are the owner. As the owner, when you log in, you want to have access to everything. So when we're looking at new contracts, we want to know across all clubs the number of contracts that were being sold. It's not important for me as one reception manager at one club to necessarily have access to that information or even yet information about total revenue. That's certainly not important to me as a reception manager. So setting up permissions in the system, which is done right here with system positions, you can determine what employees have access to what data. So as a reception manager, I would see sales by product category. I would see members by status. I would see consultant sales. I could even see new contracts. So certain pieces of information are going to be really valuable to me and others are just not going to be necessary. And that works from the top down. So you could have, say, franchisees who own a couple of clubs in the business and they would run reports and have access to data only within their clubs. And you'd have individual club managers who would only be able to see information about their club. And then you would have corporate or headquarters or the owners, and they would have access and visibility over everything. So it's all about proper data management and proper system permissions. This perfect gym manager that we're looking at, think of it as the brains of the software. So not only are you going to be able to have an oversight as to what the business is doing, but this is really where you're going to configure the business model so that when I, for instance, log in online and I want to sign up for a class, well, that's done here where you create the timetable. So the timetable that I saw on the client portal, you create that here. When I'm at the point of sale and I want to buy a smoothie or a protein shake, that's done here in the warehouse. So any products that you're selling, you put them into the warehouse and you run an inventory on them. So you've got a product management tool as well. You've got a staff management tool, so you can actually view your staff calendars, set up those diaries, and your personal trainers assign their permission, or sorry, their commission structure as well. All of that can be done here. So this is the brains of the software. Now that we've had a look at the reporting side of things and the capabilities, I want to take us over to the CRM tool, which is going to be really important for growing your business and turning prospects into members. So this right here is our CRM. First thing that you're going to probably notice is, from a visual point of view, what your eye is drawn to first is the sales funnel. So this right here is a really effective, clean, easy tool to demonstrate to us the amount of leads that we have in the system, how many contacts we've made with those leads, of those contacts, the amount of booked appointments that we've made, the number of completed appointments from those booked, and then conversions, the amount of sales that we've made from the leads. So a 47% conversion, that's not too bad. That's pretty good. But can we do better? That's what the CRM is here for. We can filter based on source. So really good way of tracking your marketing campaigns and knowing what's working and what maybe needs to be reevaluated. This, again, what we're looking at is entirely configurable. So we've set this up for the demo site to give you some options. But if you've got, say, a street campaign or a web-based campaign, you can set that up in the software and track it here. So if I want to track a summer campaign, I can know straight away how effective that summer campaign has been. And we can also track where our leads are coming from and our rejections as well, which I'll touch on in a moment, what we can do with those rejections. So any lead that comes into the system will be automatically synchronized here. If you've got data capture on your website, on your social media, on Facebook, any sort of inquiry form, somebody walks in off the street and wants to have a tour of the gym, we can capture that and it will be synchronized here. So this is an idea of what that would look like. If I want to add a new lead, let's call him Bruce Banner for all you comic book fans out there. We can assign this lead to a certain consultant if we want. We can even assign to a marketing campaign. Now let's say Bruce, we had a phone call with him. So it's someone who actually called into the gym. Now this is our CRM right here. So I'm going to be very just generic and give an overview of the notes, but your data capture would be right here. So any notes on Bruce, what his goals are, what his background is, what his objectives are, why he wants to join, we can put that here. And obviously, we're going to tailor our sales pitch to the client. If somebody has never been in a gym before and has never even lifted a dumbbell, we are not going to communicate with them the same way that we would communicate with an ex-athlete who's looking to get back into the gym after an injury. Those are two totally different people, and our approach has to be different as well. And so note-taking is going to be important to that because it's going to reflect on our on our journey as salespeople, how we're going to take them through the offering and really you know, put their mind at ease that they're joining the right facility. So let's just say Bruce is a former rugby player, used to go to now Bruce is getting married next year and wants to lose 30 pounds and add some size to his shoulders. Basically, he wants to look good in a tuxedo. That's just real vague, real generic. There you go. Let's say we've had that conversation with him. It was either over the phone or he came into the gym and we spoke to him in person, but we booked a tour with Bruce. We're going to call this Tour with Bruce. Let's schedule that for Friday. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've scheduled that tour. Now, when I come over to the calendar, I'm going to see Bruce is in the calendar for Friday. This right here is giving us an overview of my calendar for the week. So it's based on status. So the colors that we're seeing here, color coordinated, we could be looking at somebody who has a follow-up task. It could be an unconfirmed appointment. It could be a confirmed appointment. It could be a follow-up task. And so it will be color-coded based on what status the prospect is in, which will quickly and easily give me an overview as to what I need to do with each prospect. So Bruce right here is in the calendar. Now it's put him in as an unconfirmed meeting. And what the software has done as well is it has automatically put additional task in the system to confirm that meeting with Bruce. Now it will automatically put that in an hour before the meeting. What I like to do though is I like to have those conversations a little bit earlier. I feel like 1 hour is not enough time to confirm an appointment, so I can simply drag and drop and put this anywhere. I can put it earlier in the week. Let's say I want to have that conversation the day before. So I've simply dragged that and I've moved it over. Now within the CRM, you can see just by clicking on his name, I can get a breakdown of his notes. I can view that. I can give him a phone call. I can even send him an email right from the CRM. So pop that template open. I can select the template easily, so you can have a couple of different templates that can go out quickly and efficiently, and away we go. But let's say I actually gave Bruce a phone call and I confirmed that meeting. So I want you to watch what happens with whoopsie daisy. I don't know why that happened. That should be going right there. Watch what happens with this appointment right here and with this task. So if I've called Bruce and just confirmed that he's coming in tomorrow for a tour of the gym, then I save that. That task has gone from my calendar and he's now gone to, or rather from an unconfirmed meeting to a confirmed meeting. So I know when I come in on Friday, I've got 3 solid confirmed tours that I'm feeling strongly are going to close, and they're going to be new members. So that's a really useful tool for me as a salesperson to be able to track my business and run my day. And the CRM is designed to give your sales team all the tools to give them the best chance of converting those prospects to paying members. So we can go onto our leads here and see the tasks that we have and we can go into the database and we can actually filter based on task or filter based on status, more importantly. So you could have, I might want to follow up with all of the unconfirmed meetings or all of the follow-ups, all of the people who have fallen through the cracks. But also, let's have a look at all of the rejections. So it's going to be really important to keep track of who's rejected the offer. Obviously, it's a great gym. We feel strongly about it, but not everyone's going to sign up for whatever reason. It's not the right time. It's not the right location. The price isn't right for them at that moment. So we want to keep reaching out to them. So I'll come back to that in a moment because that's going to be an important tool. But just to finish up with the CRM, you can import client files. So if you've got an old database of prospects that you want to import into the Perfect Gym CRM, you can do that. You can also run reports specific to the CRM. So end of day reports, sales figures, and things like that. So very important tool for your sales staff. And also we keep track of sales. And it's worth noting that with our PSP integrations with payment providers around the world, sale is not a sale until that payment has been made. So you cannot have any kind of dodgy sales tricks going through. Payment is made and that's a sale. And also with the system permissions, which I highlighted earlier, you could have a system in place in which a sale is not finally a sale until it's authorized by the right person. Whether that's a club manager, whether that's a reception manager, you can put in place checks and balances to make sure that the right memberships are being sold for the right reasons. So you don't have people that are trying to game the system. I know it's not a nice thing to say, but it does happen. You do have salespeople that are self-motivated, that will do anything to get a sale across the line. It is what it is. You're always going to have that, but the system is aware of that. And we as a company were aware of that, so we put tools in place to mitigate that and to manage that. So moving on, talking about those rejections, really key way that we can still engage with them is through our automation center. So coming across here to the automation center, I can come to our automation rules, and if we wanted to add a rule specifically for rejections, this could be a notification, and we can send an automated email or an automated text message, say 3 months after that tour, just inviting the person back in, asking them what their status is or whatever kind of marketing approach we want to take. But there's a lot of different ways in which we can use the automation engine. A really popular one is when a card has been expired. So let's say the card that I have on file for my monthly membership has expired. We can actually send an automated message prior to that card expiring, which just prompts me to go online and update my details so there's a smooth consistency with membership. We don't have to chase people for payment. Birthday notifications are a popular one. Last club visit is a great one. So you determine what the timeline is. Maybe it's 4 weeks. I can just bring that back. Last club visit. Maybe it's 4 weeks since a member has been to the gym and you want to send out a text message. So a couple different options. You've got a push notification through a mobile app. You've got an SMS. You've got an email. We want to send a text message. We can even determine what time of day that message is sent so as to not be a nuisance. You know, we're not sending out messages at 2 o'clock in the morning or anything like that. We can create the template right here. So if we want to say, hey, automatically pull their first name, if my keyboard will allow me. Oh man, that's quite annoying. Technical glitch here, people. Well, you can't have a perfect demo, can you? I know they call it Perfect Gym, but oh my. Well, in a perfect world, you would have been able to pull this person's name. The point I'm trying to make is that you can create a template that if you've got 1,000 different members, obviously they will have 1,000 different first names, but the message that goes out will be customize and tailor to them. So, hey Colin, hey Julie, hey Natalie, hey Greg, all of these people will have a personal message with obviously, I don't recommend this being the text that goes out to your members, but if you want to be that, take that approach, you certainly can. But the automation engine is great for setting these rules up in the system and letting it tick away in the background. So it's not something that you have to constantly stay on top of as a gym owner or as a club manager, because that can be a massive headache. You've got the peace of mind that these are going out automatically and that your members have that personal touch from your brand consistently as well. So we also have a marketing engine, and the difference between the two, the automation engine is for an event that has to be triggered for that message to get sent out. So for that last visit example, I'm a member of your gym. I haven't been in 4 weeks. That's the event, and it triggers the message that goes out. Boom, simple as that. For the marketing engine, this is more for blanket messages that go out. So if we want to put everyone who takes spin classes, if we want to run a report, grab those names and put them all on a marketing newsletter that's spin focused. Maybe we're getting some new bikes in the club, or we're going to have a brand new spin concept coming in 2019. We can do that. If we have renovations happening to the men's changing room, pull everyone, put that on the newsletter. If we want to create vouchers or codes for certain promotions, we can create the codes here and put them in a newsletter that gets sent out. So the marketing engine is more for bulk marketing that's going out and targeting mass members, while the automation engine is certain events that are triggered. I hope that makes sense. I know I'm talking a little bit fast, so I hope I'm making sense while I'm speaking. This is a pretty thorough and good overview of the main bulk of the system, the meat and potatoes, if you were. The last thing I'm going to leave us on is a module that is in testing right now. It's being beta tested by a few of our clients in Australia. So it's not going to be live until next year, but I think it's really cool. And I want to give you a vision of what it's going to look like connected to the rest of Perfect Gym. So this, what I'm talking about, is our business intelligence tool. So business intelligence is artificial intelligence. It's AI learning, essentially. So it's a predictive model that takes membership data of individual members and compares it to the membership base as a whole to then arrive at predictions about sales, class attendance, and even churn. So predicting who could potentially leave the gym. So it's an extension of our reporting software, which is giving you a glance at what the business has been doing, and it's extending it to forecasting as well. So it's a really powerful tool. Obviously, the more data you have, the more accurate it's going to be. But from the clubs that we've been beta testing this in Australia, the feedback has been sensational. So we're really excited about it. So in terms of, let's have a look at this sales report here. So this is a standard report that's showing you, I say standard, it's pretty cool if you ask me, but this is giving you non-forecast look at the club. So how we are performing across the year, across all of the locations. So it's really detailed in what we're looking at. We can look at all of our gyms and break it down by gender, male and female. We can compare the revenue to last year. We can even filter based on revenue type and revenue category. So it's really detailed. In terms of our reporting software that we already have in Perfect Gym, this is a really great extension of it. But then we get into predictions. So the Perfect Gym BI tool will make predictions on a quarterly basis. So it will forecast 3 months into the future. And this is showing us what awaits us. It should say 2019, really, because we're almost finished with 2018, but that's just a minor complaint by me. I'll get them to change this 8 to a 9, and that will look much better. But again, we can look at all of the clubs or one specific club. So that's going to change the revenue quite a bit. Oh, whoa, we just jumped from 2 to nearly 30 million. That's a big jump. That's very nice. But this will also break down predictions based on categories and what have you. Churn dashboards. This one's going to be very useful. This is retention analysis. So how many members are at risk of leaving the club? This will break it down by how much we're likely to lose for the year across all of our clubs. Which age groups are most likely to leave? What's our churn risk by club? So we have which clubs are most at risk. What is our churn risk by state? Or I should say by region. This is a map of the United States. I'd like to take this moment to just clarify my accent. I am from Canada, so please don't hold that against me. I'm not American. I know I might sound American, but I can assure you I am a gentler, more friendly version of a American. And what is this data if we can't do anything about it, right? If we can't actually utilize it and be empowered by it. So we're looking at this right here in terms of how much we're actually likely to lose based on members who are leaving. I want to actually drill down into this data. So if you show me who these people are, say that 40% graph, these people right here are at a 40% risk of leaving. Well, this has been predicted based on their habits and their behavior. So I now have their first name, their last name, I've got their contact details. I can reach out to these people, I can nurture them, I can put them on a campaign, I can identify them as potentially leaving the club, and empowered with that data, I can then mobilize and do everything in my power to keep them as a satisfied, happy, paying member of my business. Very, very cool. And lastly, with bookings as well. So traditionally, when looking at feedback for classes and trying to gauge which classes are popular versus what other classes, it's been a bit of a shot in the dark. You know, if you stand outside of a you stand outside of a yoga class and you survey every member leaving that class what their favorite class is, and chances are they're going to say it's a yoga. So it's very hard to get an accurate depiction of what classes are doing the best. And so this software will take into account behavioral patterns and activity of the entire membership base, and it will give you recommendations on top recommended classes, top substitute classes, what the best times are for class, what attendance growth occurred for certain classes, so we can look at the current attendance versus predicted attendance. And this right here, this takes the guesswork out of building your class timetable, because it's showing you what is actually popular amongst your membership base. So if you've got a limited budget for your classes and you want to utilize that in the best possible way, you want to do that in a way that's good for your members and good for your business. And this will give you the tools to know what road to take. So very cool tool coming in 2019 and will be an extended of the Perfect Gym product. And that right there is about it for me. That gives you a pretty solid breakdown of the software. There's lots to cover, so if necessary, I can email you login details for these demo sites, and you can go in and you can have a look around yourself, get a little bit more detail. Please come back to me with any questions you may have, or if you need a more guided experience, you can follow up with me. I'll leave my details in the email. I'm very open and receptive, so any kind of feedback, questions, maybe you want to tell me how annoying my voice is, I wouldn't blame you. Anything at all, give me an email and we'll go from there. But I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best. Take care.